the years created her own identity in the Portland area. It's none other than Mrs. Shivy Vanka, ma'am. Ma'am, it's such an honor and delight to have you on our show. Please welcome.
Thank
I'm
you.
also very happy to welcome our lovely and charming host today's show, Mrs. Shweta and Mrs. Anupa and Mr. Shailesh. On behalf of PDXA1 Spotlight team, we are very thankful to you all for helping us host the show. Finally, I'd like to thank you to our creative team for helping me put this show together. Before I conclude, today is not only the auspicious day, it's also a special day, occasion today. On the PDXA1, on behalf of PDXA1 team, and I like to thank and wish our creative team lead, PDXA1 Spotlight Show, Mrs. Priya Murali, a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Priya. Thank you all for your continued support and encouragement for this show. Enjoy the show. Shweta and Anupa Shailesh, floor is yours. It's over to you. Thank you all. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Venkat. Thank you so much. I would like to first of all thank you all the viewers who are watching us right now, watching PDX A1 Spotlight show from Zoom, from Facebook Live, and from YouTube. Thank you all for your time, your precious time, and thank you for joining us. Your presence is an honor to us. Moving forward, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Shweta Shukla. I have been living in Portland for like 15 years, almost 16 now. I have been involved in a lot of charities within the community and outside the community also. But most recently, I have done two big scale shows in Portland. And one of them is Miss India Oregon as the operations director, and the second one is Portland Got Moves, commonly known as PGM, as the director and founder, one of the founders. This was my little introduction. But before I go to introduce my guest, one short story that I would like to tell everyone, all the viewers, and very interesting one, and of course related to our guest, is that when we did PGM, Portland Got Moves in 2019, on the day of the show, there were 23 teams competing, and all the teams were doing awesome. The energy was awesome. The auditorium was like full with 500 people. Then suddenly the last team came, and it was a Kalabharathi team, and you won't believe what happened. Like there was magic created. Every kid in that group was awesome. The auditorium was like dead drop silent. Everybody was just watching. They were awestruck. They were awestruck by the energy, by the enthusiasm, by the dedication of these kids. But one question that everybody, all of them had was, hey, who is the guru? Who is the guru of these kids? Because they're doing magnificent. So who taught them? All the three judges had same question at the same time. Tell us who taught them. And can you guess who it was? Well, I'll let you know. It was none other than our esteemed guest tonight, Mrs. Okay, let me say it. Let me try to say it right, Shiva ma'am. It is Mrs. Siva Gama Sundari. Yes, you don't know her by this name. You know her by a popular name called Shivy Vanka. So welcome, Mrs. Shivy Vanka, on this show. She is that guru that you keep in the pedestal with the god. After seeing that energy, that she herself says that she's dynamite. Dynamite come in small packets, and I totally agree with that statement, because that was what that stage showed us. Like we were in awe. We all were in awe, and that awe continued from there. And today I got this opportunity to talk to her, so like I'm honored to have that opportunity. Coming to our esteemed guest, what I would like to tell you about her is her journey was very adventurous, and she started she has a master's degree in food and nutrition from Women's Christian College, WCC, commonly known as, in Chennai, and also a master's in public health and nutrition from Case Western Reserve University, USA. She worked as a registered dietitian at Oregon Health and Science University. And now she is a director and creative director and founder of Kalabharathi School of Dance. So you will say, from science to art. Yes, it is a journey that we are going to unveil today about her. So I present to you Shivy Vanka, the biggest showman of Indian community in Portland. She's with us today, and I'm so honored to be one talking to her. With that, I pass the baton to my co-host, very talented co-host, Celis.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Shweta, for an awesome introduction. And I think it's ma'am deserves every single word of it. My name is Sailesh Srinivasan, and once again, I want to thank you for all the audience who decided to spend this year, weekend afternoon with us. It's a humble and honored, and more importantly, it's my honor. I'm so humbled to ask few questions with our awesome host, an icon, definitely a huge icon in our Portland area. So I'm really privileged just being part of this session and asking a few questions to Mrs. Sivagama Sundari, aka Shivi ma'am. Vanakkam, and I'm very, very happy to be here. With that, I'm my awesome host, Anupa.
Thank you, Shailesh. Vanakkam Shivi ma'am. It's a great pleasure and honor to have a session with you. Though I don't know personally, but now I really want to get to know you, and I'm sure our audience also would love to get to know you more and see a different aspect of Shivi Vanka ma'am. So welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Anupa. Anupa. It's quite an honor to sit between three such magnificent hosts, and I'd like to thank Venkat for giving us this opportunity. It's not often that people will see me outside in uh, in uh, groups and gatherings. I usually kind of tend to keep on the quieter side of life. Though once I'm in a party, then I enjoy myself completely. So I'm very happy to be here. And Priya, like I said, a very, very, very happy birthday to you, and a very happy Vinayaka Chaturthi to everybody watching. And let that elephant god protect us like he would protect his herd. So here we are, seeking his blessings. So let 1 minute or 1 second of please help us. We are all at that stage. So yes, shoot.
So,
And it was quite intimidating to know that I had three hosts. So uh, let's see what they do to me.
so, ma'am, one won't be sufficient for you. Your dynamic personality needs like all of us to to have the courage to come here and sit and talk to you. So,
Shweta, you know, your introduction was so beautiful, but don't put me up so high there. I'm not there yet. I have a long way to go, but I do truly appreciate um, how you describe PGM. It was you invited us and you said, "Ma'am, you have to participate." So we just came there thinking we are going to participate. I didn't realize that we became part of the competition automatically. So the kids were like in awe. It was such a wonderful surprise for all of us. Thank you so much.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, moving on, we
Okay.
would like to know so much about you. So, my first question for you, and have a little patience because I've like rounded up like a lot of questions in one question. So, I'll just request you to have a little patience and hear me through it. So, my first question to you is that if you can just take us back in the time and tell us about how 6-year-old Shivi Vanka was, your childhood, your upbringing, your journey from science to art, and how did you end up learning classical dance, and most importantly, how your parents reacted to your decision to go into dance, and how did they come in picture of making of Shivi Vanka. And last, to not add the complexities, how did you get the nickname Shivi?
Um, Interesting journey of 60 years. I'll tell you that. 6-year-old, I was the naughtiest in the family. I was an utter tomboy. When I had my three-wheeler, I would drive, I would take my little sister who was about barely 2 years old. I'll put her in the back and I would take her all the way up to the temple. And people who saw us there would bring us back home because my parents were physicians and they knew my, a lot of people around the city knew my parents. So that's how they brought me back. So I would say like a returned kid, like a bad penny, I would turn back. How did I get into dance? My cousin went to a dance school. She'd have to cross my grandmother's house to go to the dance school, and I would tag along with her. Like it was like, because I'd be standing by the window. My parents were busy with the clinic, so I used to stay with my grandma and my eldest aunt. And the minute I see my cousin going, that's it. I'll open the door and I'll run out. So we used to go to the dance class. It was funny because as I was watching the dance, one day I told the teacher there, oh, I'm also coming in for dance class. This is without telling my parents that I've gone for dance class. So the end of the month, they had to pay 20 rupees fees at that time to go to dance class. And at the end of the class, my father said, "Dance? Going to dance class? What are you doing?" And I said, "Yo, if you don't pay 20 rupees, that teacher's going to get upset with me." I think in some ways my father was like, "Okay, go," you know. And and I still remember I had a teacher come home to teach. Varu Ramaya Pillai at that time. He was trying to establish his class. He would come home to teach, but I think I was so naughty. I just did not sit down, and so that kind of fettered out. And all through school I went to learn from Kalaimamani Kameshwaran and his wife, because they lived across the street from us. And my dance teacher would in the morning, where I'm on the terrace, she'll call from there and say, "This evening 6 o'clock dance class, you better show up." And that's how I learned. I learned it out of circumstances just letting me be in the art. And I loved it. I enjoyed every dance class. I was the best in dance in my dance class in my school, and she was teaching in my school at that time. So the association continued, and all this time my parents didn't pay any interest. They were like, "You going to dance class, just don't tell anybody that you're going to dance class. You can go and come back." So till I came to the United States, I did not even have a single costume. I had never performed outside my house. I learned dance. I mean, I went to class 3 days a week. Um, and I was thoroughly involved in it. And when the in school, I used to take part in beauty competitions and whatnot, all fashion shows and all that kind. And one of the talents for that was Bharatnatyam. So I had to wear a sari. I didn't have dance costume or anything. So I won a competition there and that. And my father was like, "Ma, don't tell anybody about this." Again, it was like school that you won dance competition, don't tell anybody. So after that went on to college, and there I had the opportunity at Stella Maris College to dance with the great Mohapatra. He had come and he was teaching a group of us to do Odissi folk, and he put me as the leader to bring in the dancers, and told my aunt, who was a professor of Tamil at that time. He told her in um, Odia, I guess. I don't know what language, but it was not Tamil or anything like that. And he told her, "This girl can dance." It is really funny. I never trained classically. I never trained to be a dance teacher. So my journey, I think, when I came here, it was all about studies. You have to study, 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 and that's it. But I never went out. I never danced anywhere. Never had an arangetram. So every arangetram that I do now is like it's my arangetram. So I live through my children. Let's put it simply. Put that way. So I'm very particular about their clothes. I'm very particular about the jewelry. I'm very particular about how fantastic they have to look. So all of that is coming out of a place where, it was, I didn't get to do it. So I don't want you to miss the opportunity to do that. And came to America. the first 6 months I was here, and in Cleveland, the city council wanted a dancer. And of course, I was there jumping around and saying, "Oh, I'll come and dance." And there, Balu uncle from Cleveland Tyagaraja Festival, he saw me and he said, "Oh my God, you know there's a dancer in town." There were no dancers in '86, in '84, in Cleveland. And one Mrs. Meera Subramaniam came and said, "Oh, you know dance? Can you teach?" I'm like, no, I don't know. I was there to start do my masters. So she asked me, can you teach? I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't. She said, you know to do diditai? I said, yeah. She said, then teach them diditai. That's how I started. So my 40-year journey has been educating myself on dance,
I
and
think I
I
think
have.
you mentioned about being the best. I think that probably a good segue to the other question. Whenever we come to Kalabharathi dance of any performance, it's a grandeur. I think your performance reflects the outstanding decorations and the choice of music, and there was never compromise on the quality of the art, ma'am. I always wonder how will you bring those 100 plus kids in the stage, and then just I always get amazed, like, am I watching a Shankar's one song or movie or something like that? Because you bring such a massive production in a stage which is live with the 100 plus kids. That's not something easy. So always I personally get amazed. I know all of our friends in the community get amazed with that kind of a massive quality, delightful production. So the people, we always wonder about what goes on behind the scenes on such a great production. Would you, if you can share some of the interesting experiences, what's happened behind the scenes, how we do it, that would be great.
Want all my business secrets. Okay.
Yes.
First is God's blessings. When somebody comes and asks me, do this, there is a process that I go through. What is the event? What is appropriate for that event? What is the kind of music I have? I've been collecting music for the last 40 years. So I have a more than 600 to 700 CDs of music, which I'm hoping I will leave as a legacy to the Indian community. Uh, there is music that's amazing from long time ago, and I always tell the people, I've seen this whenever I'm looking for something. I always feel there's somebody standing behind my shoulder and says, "Ah, pick up that CD. The music will be there." It has happened to me, and I've told people so many times that. Um, it's there, that music is there all the time. So when I'm going down to look for things and stuff like that, of course I'm looking to 3 4, and suddenly something like, pick that up and the music will be there. And then I've always been the kind of person who's never satisfied. For me it has to be better and better. So I won't pick one version of that music. I'll pick up 2 or 3 versions of that same music, and I'll see how can I combine it, how can I make it better, how can I customize it for the event. Is it going to be a very knowledgeable crowd? Is it going to be a crowd that I would have to really elevate? And a lot of that process will be reflected in how we describe the program. So quality of the music, I have always paid a lot of attention to that. Right from the beginning, I believe in video, in getting my music taped, which is quite an expensive process. And a lot of the times I've been dinged by parents who say, "Oh my God, this is too expensive." Uh, but at the end of it, it is how beautiful the music is. And you cannot dance well without good music. So that is half the show. And after you do that, then you choose the characters that you want for the dance. Then what is the dress? That's my next thought. I love colors. I the presentation has to be wholesome. It is just not the music, it's just not the dance, it's just not, I think it's very important for me to tell to the children that what is the significance of what they are doing. They are going there not only for themselves, but also to show that they come from a very good school. So it's the confidence factor. I will never sit with just 5 or 6 girls dancing well. I'll never do that. Even if it means that I have to work extra hours, with kids who can't, the kids are different. So everybody has to be the same. Everybody has to be the same level. Some parents understand, some don't. So there's a lot of stress that is associated with that, not with the creative energy part of it, but with the support part of it. And then there are parents who will do anything to make it peaceful. People will bring me food, people will bring me water. They'll say, "What is this? You're so crazy. You've been here from the morning." I won't even think about all that. For me, it is like how it is going to be in the end. A lot of the times people will complain that I get angry and I upset. And I think it's mainly because I think for me, I'm frustrated with myself as to why I cannot communicate to the kids what I want. So it is not about them not doing it. It is 90% of the time, it's me not being able to clarify to them what I want out of them. But once I've clarified and once I'm convinced that I've taught them what they better shape up. There is no excuse, because I always tell them, you are here in this program. I've chosen you to be in this program because I know you can do it. I have already seen the greatness in that kid, the ability of that kid. And that, Sailesh, comes with years of experience. Which kid will pull it off? Which kid needs what kind of help to pull it off? All that experience happens.
Right.
But by the time I come to the stage that day, I'll be like a monster the week before. But 2-3 days before the program, I start coming down. I'm done. I have done my best. And I've done my best. And I tell the children, I like to be front loaded. I don't like to look at the
I've
last.
seen you have, yeah. We
And the
watched
day of
the
the
great
program,
progress.
I'll be cool. I'll be like, what? And then only one kid will come without one hair, one pinnel here and that. Then, those kinds of tensions will happen. But when my kids go on the stage, I'll be on the side or something, I'll be praying. I think I call every divine creature who's there to come and help the kids. And I'm not afraid at that point. I just want them to do their best. And the joy that they have when they finish and they come out, there is no substitute for that. And usually I'm waiting. And if they've not done a very good show, they know they've not lived up to what I want, they will come and they'll have tears in their eyes. But I'll always be waiting for them to say, how did you do? No, ma'am, we didn't do well. Like, why didn't you do well? I think I got scared with the lights. Great time to teach them why they didn't do well. But a lot of parents at that time I've heard a lot of parents, oh, she's standing right there to shout at the kids. What do they know? What do they know of the connection between that child and me? I think a lot of people are blind to that. Every moment is a learning moment. And that's how I approach this whole thing. So when you finally say costume, colors, but there are so many people working behind the scenes. So when you say, where is the guru? Why? What has she done? She's done nothing. She's only taught them how to dance. There is a whole lot of people behind costumes, makeup, putting things together, pulling the children together. All that is the positive part. Then I have parents who come and say, it's 9:30, tomorrow school, they have to go to school. And I'm like, teach them they have to work a little harder. Tomorrow they can get up a little late. What do you do? And then at the end of it all, when everything comes, I've had people who have come and said, God, it's so chaotic in there. Are you sure this is how it's going to be on the stage? But in my mind's eye, I already have that, how it is going to look on the stage.
Sure. Thank you.
That is beautiful. So that's how it comes.
Thank you.
Coming back to Shailesh's question and you answering, yes, the amazing performances. I always wondered, it's beautiful on the stage, but we think there are a lot of other things that the students learn and you teach more than dance to make that happen.
Yeah,
so can you just throw some light? Can you just tell us more about it? So how do you train your students? What goes into it, and what you teach them other than dance?
See, I come from an old school where we believe that teachers are like second mothers. But I won't say that to the kid, because mothers means they will 1 year they'll hear and 1 year out. No, if you say you're the second mother, same thing will happen here also. So I will tell them that, look, I'm your friend outside, I'm your teacher inside here. Some kids cannot understand the difference, especially when you have kids of friends, because they've seen you in a very social setting, right? So one of the things that I've learned is I keep away, because I don't think it's fair for the child. The kid is not able to understand that. But the main thing, when you ask, what do I teach the kids? When they're young, I teach them values. You have to be respectful. I mean, we have had sessions where I would sit and tell them, so what did you do for your mom today? To me, I was very close with my parents. And my aunt, my mother's sister, who was the professor. And to me, they are very important. I think my values started there. So my values is what I want to give the kids. So kuttiya irundanga, I will start with that. Teaching them, I'll tell them, do you know how to make tea for your mom? Have you ever given her a foot massage? Or sometimes some mothers will come and say, she's always fighting with me. One big lecture I'll give the kid. It's like the kid dare not open the mouth to the mouth. It's not that. It's telling them, the only two pairs, the pair of eyes that can withstand your nonsense is your mother. Nobody else. And nobody else cares what you're up to. They may say friends will come and friends will go, but that soul, no, it is truly the angel God sent. Whether they get along with the mother, whether they don't get along with the mother. But by the same token, I also see, when I teach values to the little ones, I also will have a lot of interaction with the parents, with the young mothers who are like, have you heard that song, Aduvum Solluval? Illa, that other one. Not Aduvum Solluval, Megam Solluval. What is the song I'm looking for? Is Yettanai Solnalum Teriyada Avalidam Yen Pinangi Kona. True, every mother has to say that they have to redirect these young mothers. I'm old enough to be their mother. So I have no qualms about telling them, back off. Sometimes it works, sometimes it backfires. And like I tell them, it's a family. There will always, a perfect family should never be without a fight. So if there is a fight, I teach the parents how to communicate with them, because that's what a true family is. And with the little ones, I will teach them things like stories. Why is Krishna's, why is he stealing butter? The soul, he's all looking for the soul. If it's stories on Ganesha, which is what I usually start with, there'll be one big storytelling session on Ganesha. Why, if you have an ego like a mouse, you can accomplish tasks like an elephant, things like that. And they don't know what ego is. So how do you simplify that and tell them? See, otherwise there is no connection for those children with mythology. Who cares who Ganesha is and who Krishna is? And because you know what, when they do pujas, I'll notice that a lot of the kids will not come and sit down. So I'll teach them how they put their forehead on the floor. Lot of those things. What is the significance? How do you become a better person starting from the time you are a child? And for the bigger girls, it's even more fun, because I'll be asking them, so which guys do you like in school? And there'll be this giggle going on. They'll be like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you mean to say you don't look at the boys in the class? See, to me, as they grow older, they are my friends. And I always look at it as, I have two very successful daughters and a son who are very, very comfortable with people. And I think one of the things that I had done for that was making them comfortable communicating. So I think I bring a lot of that into the class. And I'll always ask them, who's the guy, who's the actor you like? Because you have to teach them Navarasa, right?
Yeah.
How do you teach them about love and bhakti and all that? So
Shivy ma'am, that is a good segue to my next question. So I'll interrupt you here. So we have all seen Shivy Vanka as the strong, dedicated, hardworking women, like very, very strong personality. But I feel like dance, you are part of you part dance is part of your life, and dance actually is, I believe, is a hidden language of the soul of the body. So I feel there is definitely a Shivy Vanka, and after seeing like so many Kalabharathi expressive performances, I'm like, there is definitely a Shivy Vanka hidden somewhere, that is very loving and very caring and very romantic person. So I would like to, I hope you know which direction I'm going to, but I would like to take you to like, I would like to know your romance and marriage journey, and also how do you incorporate this love or care that you have in your heart in classical dance. Like dance is considered to be like a like gestures, and how do you incorporate these cute gestures into your dance and teach students to emote these expressions? And we would like to see some examples if you can give of Navrasam, please.
Um, to start with, yes, I'm a very loving, I'm a very affectionate person, but that side is only for my kids. I'm very tolerant to all the rubbish that they put me through. I love them, and I think that's very clear. The understanding, the kids come through. They know that when I'm correcting them or I'm very strict with them, it is for them to become better. But I think when people sit and listen in the class, I think I'm one of the few people who allow the parents to come into the class, and I get dinged. You're so strict with the kids, and the way I look at it is they see all the navarasas right there, starting from compassion. Because when the kid cries, I'll always tell the kid, come and cry on my shoulder, because if you cry, the theory is that you will become a great dancer. So it's all that, all the 9 rasas are there in the school happening. So as far as um, teaching them navarasas, I do it with their life experiences. How they whine and moan with their mother, how they fight with their mother, and how they pout, how they, they're angry, and then they are like surprised when the mother says, "Oh, I know you are angry," and she makes some of their best dessert or something like that. How that surprise, like to understand how much love is going on. So all of that life lessons are taught with Navarasa in class. So they see the whole range of movement of emotions that goes through. And as far as romance goes, yes, I've had a very romantic beginning to my marriage, and I've been married 34 years. And yes, he knows a side of me that nobody else knows. Do I fight with him? Yes, all the time. Do I like Subha? My husband will always come and say, "Oh, I'm Shivi's husband."
Yeah.
He always says, my identity is lost because I'm with you. Knowing my personality, he's very quiet. He's very dignified. Very person is very sure of himself, and so a lot of my insecurities will come out when I'm with him, and he's the one who kind of steadies me and says. So it's true, behind every great woman there is a great man. you know so yes, and we have had our ups and downs, we have had our tough times, and it's not been easy at all. So Navarasa right there. um,
Ma'am, that's I probably I think we talked about a lot of dance and Navarasam and everything. I'm going to take you to a little bit of off-road, but it's not related to dance, but it's one of your favorite topic, which is basketball. I
yes,
always
basketball,
get
yes.
like surprised with the amount of basketball knowledge that you have, and the love that you have for Blazers, go Blazers. And sometimes when I like, okay, this Bharatnatyam guru, like, and then there is like the basketball fan, sitting by in the front of the Blazer seat and shouting and all.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's
I go
always
nuts. I
yeah.
go nuts for the game. Uh, to me, uh, it's such a complete game. I fell in love with it because my children played it in school, and my son continued it for a long time. And while while that was, we had tickets to go to the Blazers, and we used to sit 10 rows behind the Blazer bench. And Brandon Roy's family would sit three rows away, 3 chairs away from us. Batum's mom, whenever she visits, she would sit right next to us. So it was on a very personal level that I fell in love with the program also. And I'm the loudest when I go to the Blazer games. So much so, my kids, when they come and they accompany me, they won't. They will just turn away, and when somebody looks and I'm screaming there, how is that? Or you need glasses, ref, or something like that. My children will turn her away and say, we don't know her. We don't know her. She didn't come with us. So I'm pretty wild when I go to a Blazers game. And it's interesting. I think 10, 15 years ago, when we used to have the Blazer tickets, my entire fall and spring schedule for Kalabharathi used to be based on Blazer schedule. It is only after I know what games I'm going, what their schedule is, whom they are playing, is it an away game, is it a home game, then I would schedule my classes according to that. So everything was built around the Blazers. But as soon after my kids got older and went away and did their own thing, I'm back to the grind. I still love the Blazers. I will find an excuse to sit and watch the Blazers, even today. Now I've got older, so I just write to them, hey, Blazer game today, so no class. We'll make it up next week. And we make it up. But I love the game. I love the game. And since I have such a science background, I also look at the beauty of that body, that perfection that they have to maintain themselves.
Absolutely.
To play at that level. Fascinating.
Any prediction on who will be the champion in the bubble this year?
It's the Blazers. What are you talking about?
There you go. That's the spirit. Beat LA.
Damian Lillard. See, these people are so stupid. They keep thinking, well, they made the playoffs and they made the playoffs.
Exactly.
I've been watching this game for the last 25 years to 30 years. It was for, at least for me, it was never about the ring. It is about the spirit to win. It is about, to get the better off against the other team. We all know LeBron is very good, and Anthony Davis. I mean, that team was designed with the ring in the mind.
Right.
We are still in the process of working towards it.
It blows my mind still. I'm sorry to interrupt. It still blows my mind the amount of basketball knowledge that you speak. And when I think about it in the stage teaching Bharatnatyam, it's just you're amazing, Shivy ma'am.
Silent. I know every stat of every Blazer. I used to remember every student's phone number. And as you get older, you're like, okay, let's take that and watch. But at one point of time, I could just tell it off the top of my mind.
That's awesome.
It's funny. You ask me your name tomorrow, I won't remember. But you ask me what mistake that child made when she was learning dance with me, I can tell you that 10 years later. It's kind of, some people are wired differently, and I think I am wired differently.
So coming back to dance, so we have heard the word arangetram from a lot of parents who send their kids to dance classes. So now, what is arangetram, ma'am? And how important is arangetram to a student who learns dance?
There are two ways of looking at it, Anupa. One is the Indian way of looking at it. The other is the American way of looking at it. I've had people who have come to class, and the kid is probably 5 or 6 years old, who come join the class and they say, I want my child to do arangetram. And I'm looking at the parent and saying, ayyo, how am I going to do arangetram for this kid? By the same token, you will get kids who have no concept of arangetram or anything, but would just enjoy the joy of dancing is there. So arangetram happens in my school, at least. It happens about 8 to 9 years after the child has joined me. And they go through the process of getting prepared for that process. So Arangetram from my school and with me, it's a very tough process. It's a boot camp with lots of love and lots of crying. And people always come back and say, "Oh, how can you do Arangetram with Shivy?" If you do Arangetram with Shivy, you will win the world. That's my philosophy. When that kid comes out, she can handle anything in life. And it's not because of just the toughness of the dance, but what goes, the process that happens when that child is being groomed to be a dancer for that 1 hour. The problem, however, arises when parents make it like a wedding. It has become such a showboat kind of a thing that sometimes the spirit of an arangetram is lost. You know, it is like, oh, she can dance mediocre, that's fine. But as long as, you know, the invitation is fabulous and the decorations are so beautiful, and they have got kaju katli from, you know, specially ordered from India with masala chai, and I'm like, what? And then they'll do all that, and then there is dinner, excellent, fabulous dinner for everybody. And when you're talking to the parents and you're saying, you know what, she needs to wear, and I usually will get the costume colors from the parents and the child, and the costume will be very expensive, and the mother will say, no, why don't we go for something cheaper? I'm like, priorities. What are you going to put on your child's body versus feeding somebody else? Do we all look like we need food? You know, the focus changes. And I think we as a community, we need to teach the children. We don't need to waste that kind of money. Spend more money, of course, on giving her extra lessons, to making sure that she can learn more. And by that, you know, people say, oh, that means more money for you. So what? You're paying a teacher. I work just as hard for that. And the outcome is, what is the outcome? The girl should dance very well. You will, when some arangetrams, and I'm not dissing anybody, I've gone in magnificent decorations, magnificent um, um, decorations on the stage and everything. And the kid will come out and she can't even dance. And I'm like, okay. I get angry in some things like that.
So my another question is, so how many arangetrams have you done so far?
I've done about 47 of them.
Wow.
And there are kids who have, you know, who had to go away because the parents get transferred. About another 10 or so, they're finished. So they quite a lot of experience as far as arangetrams go. Tough time, a lot of ego clashes will happen. You know, parents will try to say, oh, you know, you're very tough on the kids. It's not being tough. I'll always tell them, it is tough. Do you know how hard the child is working? And I push. Who else will push that kid? Who else will tell that kid, you dance like this, people are going to go to sleep on the chair. You want to do that? Do. And there, I am hard on kids who are very good, because I know they can go a long way. I will never give up. I will never give up. And that equates to nagging the kid. I'll never give up on a kid.
You just want to bring the best out of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They are gems which we have to recognize that they are gems. It is not, it is not a rough stone for me to hand back to you. It is the best part of you. And what is my job in this life? To polish, to facet, because I am skilled at that. But if you come sit in the middle and say, don't put this machine at this speed because it will break the glass now, you're like, get up and get out. And no, unfortunately, you know, like, I am very patient with the kids. Parents who interfere, I'm not very patient.
Ma'am, as a mom, how was your daughter's arangetram? When did you perform your daughter's
Very tough, because the lines, there is no teacher mother line. It all blends in. it at a time when they need a mother, I'm probably telling them how they should be doing that jati. And then my both my daughters are very vocal, and you would be wondering where they got it from.
Right? Surprising. Very
Yeah.
We
surprising.
don't know. We
Very
don't know.
surprising. Very surprising, but very very talented kids. Very, the kids that the minute I had two daughters, that's all I wanted to do was Sanarangetra.
Ah,
And my eldest daughter danced just to please me. She liked it, but it was something she did because she was like, okay, I'll do this for you. uh, and for which I didn't appreciate at that time. I was angry with her, and I was like, the orchestra is sitting, and somebody who was sitting with us, we had people from outside, and they told, it'll be nice if you did Aramandi. And she looked at me and she said, excuse me, and she went upstairs. The orchestra is waiting. We are doing orchestra rehearsal. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, kid didn't return. And what? She has taken the car and gone away.
That's fantastic.
If you want me to come to rehearsal tomorrow, I have nobody else there.
Mhm.
And my second one, she loves dance. And she has continued with it, through the years. And I'm grateful because I think in their own way, they've made me so happy.
Nice.
So I'm very blessed. And that experience that I've had with them and how beautifully it turned out, I bring it to my kids at school. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like everything that you said, Shiviji, like for young mothers like me, I would like to copy you in everything that you said. Like I would like my kid to like be like them, and I myself like would like to be like you, like as a mother. And that brings me to my next question for you. I think you have done like too many hats. Like you have a teacher, you're a teacher, you're an entrepreneur, you're a mother, you like mother of three, and you're a beautiful wife. Now again, as a mom myself, I would like to know how you manage all that things so efficiently, which we already see like on stage, and and even like not on stage, even without like being just meeting you, gives us a sense of like how you're so efficient, and you have like we have a lot to learn from you. So how do you balance your responsibilities, and what is your secret mantra? If I tell you that, just give me some tips and message, like how to conduct myself that gracefully, what is your mantra for that?
there is really not a balance in my life. My whole life is dance. And I think a lot of the times I have shorted my kids on my time with them, because either I'm choreographing something, or watching videos, or listening to music and things like that, when I could have spent time with my kids. So the balance, to a great extent, balance has been, um, I think, achieved through passion and a call of duty. I have to get this done, I have to do that, but there are times I've fallen short. I'm not a very organized person, and so I usually get a lot of help. I have no qualms in saying I don't know. And when I say I don't know, that means please help me. And a lot of people come forward to help that way. I have gone through a very hard time trying to get to where I am. So it was sheer hard work. Sheer hard work. There is no substitute for that. People can ding you, people can talk whatever they want. You just go on with your work. And I think the one thing that I would recommend people about it is that, do your work. Don't let anything shake you off your path that you're going. There will always be people who will support you. There'll be people who talk against you. All that is, crap on the way. You just move on. but I've always lived by quotes. I love quotations. I love getting the wisdom of words, which which um, which has always led me through. There is a particular piece called Desiderata. It was found in an English church, and it talks about life. So if you get a chance, go look at that. I live by that. There will always be people better and less than you. Every sentence in that Desiderata is so meaningful to life. And I think when I read that for the first time at high school, and I think I've always kind of used that as my guide. And for young mothers of today, I would say, let the teachers do their work. Don't interfere. Don't keep on poking. At one time you're like, back off. You tell them nicely, you tell them sweetly. Then at one point you say, hey, let me do my work. It comes to that. Don't push a teacher to that point, because what happens is, yes, you have made it very clear what you want, but in a very disagreeable manner. And the poor kid, I don't care what you disagree with me, but can you imagine, you have disagreed with me? I'm sure they're talking at home, and the poor kid has to come to class.
In this one, man, actually, we talked about, right, that's related to my next question. You talked about the guide and the quotes. And when I look at you, there's so many things I personally have to follow myself and my family. Same thing, but you have the guru or gurus in your life. Can you talk about how they impacted you, and also you still in touch with them, any
Yes,
of the gurus?
yes,
Okay. Can
all
you
my
talk about them
gurus,
a little bit?
all my gurus. There are so, guruன்றது வந்து not somebody that we look as a person.
Mhm.
Guru is just not one person.
True.
But people who have come and taught you things throughout your entire life. And that way I've been very blessed, Silesh. I started my training with um, uh, KK sir and younger teacher. Uh, they taught me to love dance. Kameshwaran sir and Saroja Kameshwaran. Uh, I went on to learn with other teachers, Jayanti Subramaniam, Radhika Shurjit, Dhananjayan sir students, Aparna Ramaswamy. So many women who have come into my life and taught me so much. I think my belief is that I'm always eager to learn. Every day is a new lesson. So, Guru and Radha, it is not somebody. Why the trees are your guru too, right? They teach you what the green color is.
The
They
great
teach you
perception.
what brown is. We tell don't put your foot on your books. Guru, right? There is guru everywhere, and you have to be worthy to be a student. So you have to keep yourself ready to learn all the time. You
Absolutely.
close your head and say, oh, I know this. Forget it. There is no guru in your life after that. And I've had women from the Taiko group. We recently lost a wonderful person by the name of Valerie Otani, who in her own way has helped me so much. Teresa Enrico, who came when I was very sick in 2001. She came and she wanted me to dance for their program. And I was very, very sick at that point. And I said, no, I don't dance. I teach. I can get you my students. She said, no, you have to dance. And I think she's my guru. She is the one who brought me back on stage again. But I'm not a dancer. I'm a teacher. And you should know the difference between the two. Some people can dance on the stage. Some people can teach. And I definitely know my role. I can teach.
Probably I may disagree to that part, but that's for another day. Okay.
Okay.
I think we all disagree with that part.
Right.
You haven't really seen me dance. So,
Ma'am, I have another question for you. You said behind every successful woman, there is a man. So let us talk about Sir. I heard there is some connection between roses and Sir. So, let's touch base with Sir, and let us talk about Sir some more, and what an important role he played in your life to be an awesome teacher for so many students. So let's talk about Sir some.
From him, the biggest lesson I've learned: mediocrity is not okay. You do something, do it well, or don't do it. Or don't do it was never in my books. It's like, and to bring in a certain stability to this madness of mine is him. And we met through the advertisement in India West. L. Subramaniam, who was a patient of my father, when my parents had visited him, they put an ad in the India West, and Subha answered that. And the first thing when he gave it to me, my mom picked up the phone, talked to him, and when she gave the phone to me, she said, "Vegetarian," and gave it. I think for 34 years we have argued about our food likes and dislikes. But I think over the years, I think good marriages, you will see that, through the strife. I think with our marriage, we struggled through what he liked and what I liked and what should be done and what should not be done. And we've survived. What else can I say? So, but very, very romantic beginning. When I talked to him, the first conversation, when he asked me what are all the things you like, I told him I love roses. And he said, perfect, because I live in a city of roses. And that's where the whole romance started. And I thought, nice. And then he told me he was an IIT graduate. I was always fascinated with IIT graduates. And he spoke German, and he skied. He did a lot of things which to me was very, I thought, nice. I like this guy. And then a few days later, it was my birthday, and he sent me 24 roses, which, I have preserved those flowers. So I still have those 24 roses dried up in a box. From there on, we would communicate on the phone, because I was in Cleveland and he was here. And I think all throughout our romance of 2 years, I got roses every day, every week. Always had a bunch. By the time one bunch would die, I would get my next bunch.
Well done.
So that we had to invite the florist, but who was sending us the flowers.
I feel Sir knew how to get brownie points, or how to get points, how to score points. He did a pretty good job.
It's a good example to others too.
Yeah, and 6-7 months after he met me, he went to London because he had to work. He worked at Intel. He had to go to London, Swindon, and on the day of that November, my birthday, and he kept calling me from London saying, "Oh, so how are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's my birthday. I'm working. I'm going to finish and go." And then he calls again at 5:30 and he says, "Oh, how are you doing? You're still not home?" I'm like, "What is this? This guy must be so stupid. He's calling me all the time. Every 1 hour he's calling." I didn't realize that from London he had sent me a fox coat. A watch. He had sent me a whole box of gifts. And he was trying to find out if the box had arrived.
A surprise.
No, or your reaction to his gifts.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Maybe if we had FaceTime or Zoom at that time, it would have been a whole new level then.
Actually, I think we always tease each other. We should have bought stocks in AT&T. I think half of those stocks were our bills. And I'm talking to you about 81, where each of us had bills of like $600, $700. That's how much we talked. So it's
How romantic.
Very romantic. I thank God for that. Very romantic. But after we got married, I tell him what happened, He said, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "What?" I planted roses and he would go and pluck roses from the garden and come and give. And I told him, all that was a facade in those days, just to allow me. But now look what you're doing. But
Right.
Even the other day, I got roses for my anniversary and things like that.
I see he's connected through his iPhone and listening all to that. Probably he will.
I'm pretty sure.
By the way, I see you're blushing, and pretty sure he is doing the same thing.
The man
Yes.
still has the ability to make me blush.
That's good. That's good. We want you smiling and blushing all the time. So, ma'am, this now that we are having so much fun, and we're done with the serious topics, we are going to another segment which is like really really fun, and this is like first time we are doing it on this show. It's called the rapid fire session, and the and the format will be like I'll ask you a question and you will just give me an answer in like 1 or 2 words, or a sentence. But yeah, so it'll be like really quick, whatever comes into your mind. And so we each will ask you 3 questions, and so there will be 9 questions in total. Are you ready? Do you have any questions for me?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready
So
to be grilled.
say that again. I'm sorry.
I said I'm ready to be grilled.
No, it's not grilling. It's just love.
Okay.
So my first question is, who is your role model in life?
Interesting. My role models shift depending on what the situation is.
Okay.
So I don't have one role model. If it's something that requires a lot of strength, then I look at somebody who's got a lot of strength and came through a situation. And if it is a lot of love that is required, then I look at somebody who's very loving and affectionate. So there's not one role model.
Okay. So, but if I say right now, who can you think of?
My parents.
Awesome.
Great answer.
They were just everything that I could think of, and I would want to be like them.
That's good.
Humble, very talented, took life for what it was. That love and affection that they shared, the way they were towards their patients, the way they were towards us. Yeah, I think they are my role models.
So I see, I can definitely say, and I think everybody will agree that we see a lot of them in you.
Oh, thank you. My father will be happy to hear that. Because he was not very happy when I became a teacher.
Oh.
So I wish they were there now.
Okay.
Because they saw me struggle. Beginning of dance, I went through hell to get to.
I think they're watching you. You're making them proud every day, man. Every day.
Wherever they are, and they're like, you have a lot of blessings from them. I'm sure.
Thank you.
So my next question: what is one quality every young girl should have, according to you?
Elegance. That sums it up. If you are a good person and you are an honest person, you are there is an elegance and a confidence that comes. And I think it's very important for young women of today to be elegant. And by elegant, it's just not books. It's not the nerdy, I'm at the top of the world because no, you should know how to talk to people. You should know how to behave with people. You should know how to dress up. You should know which color lipstick looks good on you, which color dress looks good on you. It's a total package. So
full personality.
So elegance, the key word is elegance.
Okay, nice. So these are all women-oriented questions, and we are in the times which is like all women. So my next question is based on what is going on right now around us. So who is your favorite women leader of current in the world?
Kamala Harris. Harris. Absolutely. What else do we want? Look at her. The way she can talk and the way she can communicate and the confidence, what a role model.
Yes, for sure.
I'm a true Democrat. So you can, that's what's interesting. I'm multifaceted. I love birds. I love gardening. I love cooking. Anything. My life is full. So
we'll go to next round.
Okay.
And we'll go to next round of this rapid fire to explore it more, actually.
Okay.
I was the one who was taking you off-road. Again, it's another off-road set of questions. Okay. Now, I know you're a big foodie. I know you're a great cook. So I'm going to pick probably it's easy question for you. What's your favorite cuisine?
Indian. Indian, of course.
Indian, of course. Okay, is it? And then, okay, that probably I'll make it again. Another one. What dish that you make that your kids love it, always want to crave for more, and the one dish you got to pick only one, maybe two. let me be a little generous. Let's take.
So, Shailesh, you have to say 3 because she has 3 kids. So
We have 3 hosts. So 3 hosts, 3 kids.
3 hosts, 3 kids. So 3.
My pulao and kurma they love.
Okay.
They like my rasam very much. I make a V8 rasam. What else? They love everything that I make.
Okay.
Ma'am, when can we come and eat?
I know. As soon as COVID finishes.
Just
Ma'am is the one who makes the Navarasam also great and the Rasam also great.
Best rasam. I
Right.
make the best rasam.
I'm a big Rasam lover. I got to have it from you. Okay, this
Yes,
one again.
yes.
Our favorite, both of our favorite topic.
I will send Sindhu my recipe.
Oh, will do. I'll come on. I remember I told you I'll always do a curbside
pickup. Yes.
Anytime. You keep it out, I'll come and get it, ma'am.
Shailesh, sign me into. I want to know how V8 rasam tastes. So maybe.
Right?
Fabulous. It's
Yeah.
fabulous.
So yeah.
I always have to find shortcuts to do things. My V8 rasam is pretty good. It's
Okay,
pretty good.
Ma'am,
now this is my final question. Okay, this is our favorite topic. Okay, blaze a ticket,
Ah.
a ticket for the Bharatnatyam show at the same time. Which one you will pick? You got to pick only one.
Place a ticket.
That's
Very simple. Very simple. Because if it is not my kids dancing,
right.
the tickets.
Of course, right? Yeah. All right. Anyway, thank you.
My set of
Like
questions.
last year when we did Mayan, we were at the back and the introduction is going on. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are, getting ready for all of this. And suddenly, I looked at my phone and says, Blazers won. And I was like screaming at the back. Everybody was like, quiet. People will hear you. I was in 7th heaven. It didn't matter whether we are doing program. It was like 5 kids on stage. And here I'm screaming, Blazers won. What would you want?
Great answers, ma'am. Thank you.
Now my turn for the rapid fire.
Yes.
Ma'am, who is your favorite actor?
Shivaji Ganeshan.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm an old school girl. Shah Rukh Khan, all the Khans I like.
Oh, all the Khans. So cool.
The Khans are good.
Ma'am, you should remove old from there.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
they
no old. Yeah.
are legends. They can't act like them, I like recently I like the Kapoor. I forget what Kapoor is he?
Ranbir
I don't
Kapoor.
see much. Ranbir Kapoor. Wow. Yes. Very nice. Yes. Ranbir Kapoor, Ranbir Singh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, absolutely. And my girls always, Ma, there is nothing wrong with looking at eye candy, right?
Right.
I agree, ma'am. I agree.
I totally agree. Yeah.
I mean, they are born to fascinate us.
Exactly.
What's wrong when we are fascinated? So absolutely.
So my second question would be, who's your favorite musician? Who's your favorite singer?
Singer. If you talk about Bharatnatyam, if you ask for that, then it's Vatsa. Sri Vatsa who sings for my orchestra.
Okay.
And singer per se is SPB.
Yeah.
I like
All-time favorite.
all time.
Everybody. Yes.
Yeah. I was there at his first concert when he came out with Ayiram Nilabeva.
Mm-hmm.
First, he came on to Music Academy and that was his first concert. And I was there for that concert. This I'm talking about in 70 something.
Okay.
So,
My question is all with entertainment. So, what is your favorite comedy show? I heard you love comedy. So, what's your
I
favorite?
love comedy. Shravanova, everybody. God, I have so many. I wouldn't know which names to give you. Bilma.
Let's stick with Indian. Maybe
Indian is that Alexander.
Yeah.
Who has come?
Alexander Babu.
Yeah, Alexander Babu. Great sense of humor. I like clean comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like vulgar comedy, but I like Cat. What's his name? He's Cat something. This is African American comedian. He's got a great, wicked sense of humor. Pretty vulgar at times, but I like it.
That's nice. So now let's move on to question and answer session from the audience. So let's see if the audience have posted any questions that we can ask you.
And Shailesh, you're right. Subha is listening in on his iPhone.
I guessed. I know.
So let's see.
I guess no questions.
I think people are so immersed with your talk and they have been just listening awestruck. So, they don't have time to post questions now.
I think we covered, like, when I look at it, I think we covered all the sections and aspects of ma'am's life, like from childhood, dance and sports and music and whatnot.
I think you have. This is the most I've ever talked about myself. I think I've always lived for my kids, for my school. I'll always look at it as reflected glory. I'll never be there in the front. It's them. They dance well, then people think about me.
I think we missed one topic, and I just personally I feel like your love with saris. I always, the sari that you're wearing looks fabulous, right? It's just great.
That's a question.
Come on, it's just every time you guys take these questions with dance and saris, why can't I do like once? Like, what is with you and the lovers? Probably, let me ask you, how many saris you have? Let me guess, like 100.
Oh, I think you are. No, it's way too less.
Way too less. I agree.
Way too less.
I think I've always loved patu saris, and when we go to the Kabalishwara temple, which is very close to my house, we always wore patu saris because the concept is that all the silkworms that died, when you wear the patu podava and go to the temple, they all get moksha.
There you go.
Other than concept. So koilku ponona, you have to wear. There is a certain sanctity in wearing a pattu podava. And for me, dance is a temple. So arangetra means for me, I have to wear pattu saris. You can't go sit there with your hair open, and there is a deivigam in that. That is very important, and I think pattu saris and me go well in.
I can see that.
My philosophy.
And orange yellowish color, right, ma'am?
Huh?
Orange yellowish color.
Orange yellows are. I have every color. Every year when I go to India, I look at the saris and say, what do I want? And then when I pick up, my sister will say, but you have that color. I'm like,
I think I totally, agree with the pattu sari wearing to the temple, especially because I've been brought up with that line saying, if you're going to the temple, you have to wear a pattu pavada or a pattu sari.
Yeah.
So even now, when I'm visiting India, my dad is very particular that I wear a pattu sari with at least, this much of zari in it.
And
very particular, so.
And I think it is an honor to the people that you're going to see.
Yeah.
We dress up when we go to work.
Right?
There got to be that particular thing and particular dress and this. So what is different when we dress up to go out?
Yes.
And I love the look on my kids' faces when I come to the party or something and I'm dressed up nicely and the kids are like, Shivy auntie, Shivy auntie, Shivy auntie. Okay. It's wonderful.
Ma'am, I think in a couple of years, I still remember the show. I attended that one, the Mind show.
Oh, yes.
Really want to hear it from you, few words. I know probably you put a lot of efforts into that one, like every single show. But I know this was little like more, done in a very, in a more bigger way and well received. And we've seen that. So we just want to hear a few words from you.
That was a history-making event in Oregon, I would say. 135 kids on the stage. There were about 12 or 15 performances, and everything was choreographed within a period of about 6 to 7 months. Costumes were got. I mean, there was a whole crew working in the back. It was just, it's what I would call the perfect show. So people who came out, And that concert earned us the name that Kalabharathi is the Ivy League of dance. So it is like Tini uncle and Usha auntie who were there. Tini uncle was saying that it's the Ivy League of Bharatnatyam in Portland. I hope to live up to that all this time. It's easy to get to the top, but very stressful to stay on the top. So,
Ma'am, I have a request.
yes.
The next time I do PGM, I want a performance like that from Kalabharathi. Like it was like I can't imagine. I was already seeing the stage on fire when your group did it in PGM last year. But I want to see it more.
We have an item ready for you.
Oh, thank you.
Have an item ready. Yeah.
So thank you, ma'am. It was
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was an awesome evening. We had a great pleasure. We saw a different face of Shivy ma'am. So it was a great pleasure. Thank you, PDXA1. I think our audience must have really enjoyed and got to know Shivy ma'am more.
I hope they did. There were no questions. I'm amazed that we didn't have any questions. Either people are so stunned with what I said, there are no questions, or it's like there's really no questions.
I will use the word mesmerized rather than stunned.
I think there was a question like, what color sari you didn't have? I think you answered it like you had every single color of sari.
So it was a great honor, ma'am. Now I can say, yeah, I know Shivi ma'am. I have spoken to her. So, that would be it would be such an honor, ma'am. So thank you very much.
I think I portray a very strict, what do you say, outside, but
I would say rather than a strict, we would respect. It's more of a respect rather than a strict Shivi ma'am. So
Yes.
we know you as we respect you because you are a dance teacher. We all respect you. So, it is like, oh yeah, Shivi ma'am. But now I think we all enjoyed and we had a great fun talking to you. So Shailesh, few words from you.
Oh, sure, definitely. Actually, when my butterflies were going around right from the morning, I thought, my job is going to ask you questions, but I was so nervous. But I think you made us all very comfortable make it very, we can ask very freely all the personal questions. You took it to stride and tough one. Yeah, I know you asked for some, there was a few questions before wrap it up. There are people who wants to know, what is your upcoming production?
It's called Eka Aneka, that I got a grant from the Regional Arts Council.
Okay.
That everything is one and one is everything. So the concept is that we are all one. We are all different, but we are all one. And there is one unifying God.
Okay, great.
And
also, I won't tell anybody. I know the questions come in. Ma'am will definitely look it up and answer your questions separately. I know there's a lot of questions to ask. Once again, very, 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 very thank you, madam.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. Very honored and humble. And back to you, Shweta.
So I think wrapping up will be the most difficult part of this interview for me because I have to I want to say so much. I am just I don't know about the audience. I am mesmerized with whatever we discussed, how you conduct yourself. And I have always been in awe of you. But today I felt seeing your so human side and so loving and caring side. I don't know what others feel, but I feel like it's honor. It's really honor and a big learning for me for in this, at least in this life. I'm honored to have an interaction with you like that, to know more about you and to learn. So thank you for that a lot. And I come from North India, so this is a new all new things, new culture, new aspect for me. Although of course we see it in movies, we know through friends, but this was quite intimate discussion about everything, including from food, saris, your dances, how you do it. So it was a big learning for me. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for your patience with us. We had so many questions juggling from all directions. So thank you for that, and I definitely look forward to coming and picking my curbside rasam someday.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
What has come out of the whole conversation is I'm good at making rasam.
No. You are good in doing everything. I think one thing that I heard constantly, and I got this notion, is that you're a winner, ma'am. You're a winner. Like, you, whatever, wherever we put you, whether it is rasam or it is arangetam, wherever we put you, you will excel. And that's a big lesson. That's a quality we don't see very much in these days. So thank you so much for like interacting with us, giving us this opportunity and honor, and thank you for your time
It is
today.
I've never had such wonderful hosts questioning me like this. So I had to stay sharp. So
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
all the three of you. Thank you, and Venkat,
Thank you.
thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I would also like to say thank you to Venkat and PDXA1 for giving this opportunity to us. It's a big opportunity to talk to Shivy, ma'am. And thank you so much for believing in us and for giving this opportunity. And thank you for my co-host. You guys were fabulous. So like, I had to be on my toe. So thank you so much. Sorry, Venkat, I interrupted you.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much, Shweta and Sailesh, Anupa. Yeah, it's a fantastic show. I enjoyed. Yeah, everyone enjoyed. So I know Sivi ma'am is not only a great dancer, she's also a great dietitian. So yeah, it's great to know all our life journey and professional experience, life experience from Sivi ma'am. It was privilege to have her on our show. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation, ma'am. Thank you so much, and
Anytime.
thank you for the all our hosts. Very nice, fantastic, very interactive, right? Interactive, very social, very like we all like it. And thank you to my creative team, put this show together, and it's a really it's amazing work from that team. So thank you, my team, and thank my family and friends, and most importantly, our community members for unconditional support and encouragement for every show. Thank you so much. And yeah, so this support and encouragement will motivate us to bring more and more
Yes.
shows. Definitely, we will bring nice shows. And next time, before school start, we want to bring one nice performance show, not a talking show. Nice performance show. Definitely, all of you will enjoy. So, this recording of this show will be available on our website, pdxa1.com, and also PDXA1 Spotlight Facebook page. Everywhere it's available. Please like a PDXA1 Spotlight, Spotlight page, Facebook page, so that you can get the update as soon as we post it. So, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Venkat.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.